Hello everyone, good afternoon. Not going to talk about myself too much because quite a lot to get through, but I've been working in the industry for 15 years, besides just 13 for some reason. Started off as a CAD technician and I've worked my way up to BIM Manager, so I've lived a lot of the frustrations through document management, document control, captured lots of lessons learned throughout the years, and always been on keeping an eye out for a software solution that would try and capture as many of those lessons learned as possible. First heard about Excitech DOCS and M files last year, and I've been working very closely with them to develop a system that's not just customized for our business, but tries to capture as many of the construction industry lessons learned as possible, and really building some functionality that hopefully everybody in similar situations will use. So before we had M files, hopefully some of these quotes will ring true to your businesses as well. So document controllers and people that are in charge of the drawings often ask, what should this drawing number be? Lots of battles with the DS 1192 or ISO 19650 drawing numbering. It's easy to those that use it every day, but for people that dip in and out of it, it's really over complex. Drawings sitting in approval, getting lost, getting forgotten about, people losing track of what revisions there should be. You go to push one revision out the door that's been sitting in workflow, and actually it's the wrong one because there was another drawing sitting in someone else's folder waiting for approval, not knowing who's in charge of what or whose responsibility it was. People saying that they hadn't ever seen drawings or that they hadn't approved the drawing despite the fact it had been emailed. People PDFing drawings the wrong way, so having the top and bottom cut off on portrait drawings, things like that. Another common one, people not understanding the standards for suitability rather than revision. Your S3s, suitable for review and comment, your A5s, approved, contractual approved document, that sort of thing. People claiming they didn't receive emails or losing them. As-built red pens sitting in boxes or sitting in folders, not being actioned because emails have been lost, that sort of thing. People not knowing where information is, or there being duplicate versions of drawings and not knowing which is the most current version, and people not knowing what the correct revision is to be sent out. So lots of silly little things, but things that can be quite time consuming. So what I've worked with Excitech DOCS and M files on is to try and capture and solve as many of those as possible. So where we are now, we've tried to automate as much of the process as possible. So where I mentioned about PDFs going the wrong way around, now it's the drawings work through workflow, you press a button and they all get PDF'd at the correct paper size, the correct orientation in DWG, PDF, whatever formats you select. You don't have to think about it, you press the button and it does it. And depending on how fast your server is, it's fast and it saves a massive amount of time. You don't have to worry about charging additional monies for providing different formats. You get full control, so drawings can be rejected and can be tracked. Full visibility of where a drawing is up to. No more it's sitting in your folder, it's sitting in my folder. It's all in one place. There's a visual cue of who's in charge of it, and behind the metadata you can clearly see whose responsibility that is. No more claiming people haven't seen things. You are emailed the instance that a drawing is sent to you or a pack of drawings is sent to you. It sits in your workflow and it doesn't go any further until you've actioned it. And obviously you can, if they're all good to go, you can batch process hundreds of drawings at once. It's not adding lots of time to your day where you're having to painstakingly go through one drawing one at a time. It's an accurate central repository of current information. You don't have to go trawling through loads of different folders to find the most up-to-date information, and you can control who can see what. So for instance, within our business, we don't give the site team access to the WIP folder. They only have access to the approved documents folder. And obviously because of that, you get zero duplication. It's all in one place. You can't, well, you can make copies if you want, but within M files itself, there's zero duplication. It's got very, very quick search functionality as well. So if you don't want to start clicking through folders, you can type in keywords and it's much, much faster than the Microsoft File Explorer way of searching. And what we found when you combine all of that together, there's a much, much bigger reduction in document control style queries, not necessarily design or construction style queries, but your typical ones what should this drawing number be? What block reference is this? Because it's all plumbed in at the back end when you set a project in, and you basically set up a drawing from clicking down on drop down boxes. So it removes a lot of the possibilities for human error. Obviously, the system's not perfect. Nothing in life is perfect. There are challenges. Big one being people. People hate change. Unfortunately, we aren't very receptive to change. So one of the biggest challenges when you bring something like this into your company, even though it's making people do things they should already be doing, it looks a bit different. So you're going to have people pushing back against that. You're going to have different levels of computer literacy across the business, so you're going to have to make allowances for that. Unfortunately, the Revit API is quite locked down, so there's two slightly different workflows, whether you're working with a CAD drawing or a Revit drawing. I believe that Excitech are very close to solving this issue at the moment. We have to sort of do a double dip. You push it through workflow, then you have to go back into Revit and push it out a further time. But for the time savings we get elsewhere, it's not a massive issue. And then just further development here and there on things that we're picking up on lessons learned and actually using the software, how we can speed things up. So now we've actually got the system, we're using it, I've sort of opened my eyes now to the wider information management. So it's got my brain going, what else can we do with this? What can we capture? Where else can we be more efficient? So I'm going to be looking at timesheet integration and linking it to projects, linking estimates or proposal costs versus how much time we've actually spent on it. I'd like to start pushing change control through the system. So on a project, it goes straight through to the commercial team and you get your bookend of how much it's going to cost the change, the supporting evidence, you do the change, you track how much it is, and then at the end, you've got your substantiation. And then the ability to because the software is developed on open platforms, it can link into other software such as Power BI, and you can get some really powerful visuals out of it to check progress. And then hopefully we'll be able to push that out across the business. So that's it from me. Hopefully you found that interesting.